And this is his girlfriend.
My girlfriend Delilah, my mom, and my sister Cassie.
Okay.
Right. And thank you so much for coming again, because they actually came to one of my other classes, and it was really great. And I was telling these guys that you were so popular that people emailed me to come, and I'm like, no, you can't come. They don't want to come and hang out. I get it, and I understand that, but I thought, if we do something community-wide, we can. But this is, something special for our class. So thank you so much again.
Sure.
Great.
Okay. So first of all, anybody have any idea what an occupational therapist is? Okay. As an occupational therapist, we work on purposeful activities. So we can work with anything from newborns all the way to seniors, because we all have purposeful activities. So if you could imagine having an injury, a stroke, something that you weren't able to be in this classroom without some accommodations or modifications to your curriculum, okay? That's what an occupational therapist would work towards, right? So in a baby, it might be just the ability to roll over or to tolerate their mouths being stimulated so that they could eat and survive. Okay. In the elderly, full circle going around, it might be something like being able to tolerate food because they look at a plate of food and say, I don't know what to do with this because dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever that might be. But I work for the school district, and in the schools, I look at how students are able to function in their classroom. And today we're going to talk mostly about students that have issues with dysregulation, but that could be anywhere from severe autism all the way down the spectrum to a student with ADD, ADHD, okay? Because a lot of the techniques that we use with autism, we use with ADD, ADHD. You know the difference between ADD and ADHD? Anybody?
I think it's hyperactive.
Yeah. The H is for hyperactivity. Lots of ADD kids you'd never even know because they're so unfocused that they're just very quiet, and you think that they're attending because they're really quiet, and they might even be looking, but they're not because they're attending to everything except what they're supposed to. If they hear the clock ticking, they're going to attend to that. If they hear the lights kind of flickering, they're going to attend to that. If they hear a siren outside, they attend to that. Okay? Kids with ADHD, you know, because they're just bouncing around, they're all over the place, and they can't sit still. But a lot of times that doesn't mean that they're not attending. Okay? So then back to the other side of the spectrum, because life is just one giant spectrum, and I think we're kind of all on it in different areas. We then have kids who I've been called in, and my job is that they're under the table, they won't come out, so they can't access their curriculum. First of all, that might not be true. Just because they're under the table doesn't mean that they're not accessing the curriculum. Okay? It may just be that the lights from above and the noise and everything on the walls is just way too much, so they go under the table so that they are like compensating and they reduce the stimulation by doing that. Or it might be like in the case of my friend here who was screaming under the tables and then not able to access curriculum because he was so dysregulated that he couldn't focus. He just was screaming, okay? So the way that I approached Robert was with a little friend of mine. Remember a little friend? Okay, and what was it?
A wind-up dinosaur.
It was a wind-up dinosaur, okay? Little boys, dinosaurs, Land Before Time.
Mhm.
You know, that's what was kind of in at that time.
Actually, no, I think that it was Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park for him. Okay, but it was a dinosaur. So I went under the table, we played with the dinosaur, that calmed him down. I was able to get him out from under the table, and we went into another room and established rapport with the dinosaur. So after that, the dinosaur became the transition object. Okay. A lot of kids need a transition object. He would see me, associate me with the dinosaur. I'd give him the dinosaur, he could walk out the room. If I didn't have the dinosaur, sorry, I'm not going. Okay. So, one-on-one, he was awesome. Cute little thing.
It's grown a lot.
Grown a lot now.
How old was he?
Kindergarten.
Kinder, wow. You were little. Really?
So at that time, his mom was very involved, always has been very involved with him, and she wanted to know, well, what can I do? Because there's only so much that we can do as educators, no matter what our role is. If things aren't done at home, there's not consistency. So we started doing a brushing program, which called the Wilbarger Protocol. It was developed by an occupational therapist, and all it is it's like a surgical scrub brush, and you brush the arms, and then the back, and then the legs, and the top of the feet, not the bottom of the feet. Okay, and then we would do joint compression. Joint compression, sorry for the frozen hands, is connecting the nerves and the joints, okay? And I usually count to 10, okay? And I do this in all of the joints we have joints in our fingers, we have joints through here, joints in the wrist, joints in the elbow, joints in the shoulder, okay? Then the joint in the hip, the knee, and the feet, okay? We would do that every hour and a half, which meant that Rob's mom would come before school, she would brush him, do the joint compression, send him into class, okay? And what that did is it started making it so he would tolerate touch sensations and a lot of other things, but then she'd come again an hour and a half later, which he was still in class. She'd pull him out into the nurse's office, do that again, send him back to class, and then she would do it at home with him. And remember, he's in kindergarten, so there was a lot of times, you know, up until he went to bed. Going to bed for him, or the evening ritual, was not real fun for Mom, because it was a lot of screaming, because we had bath time. Bath time, a lot of the kids, they don't, you know, for him it was getting into the bathtub, an enclosure. Maybe for some kids it's the water scares them. A lot of things can really bother kids. So Mom would bathe him in the kitchen floor because it was a big room, so he didn't freak out, in like a basin, and that's how she would bathe him for a while. The other thing is dressing, okay? Until we started the brushing program, he could not stand to have clothes rubbing up against his body. So she would undress him when he went to sleep, put on his clothes for the next day, and then that way he was dressed and ready to go when he got up in the morning, okay? Do you remember this stuff? A little bit, not really.
Supermom, though, holy moly.
Supermom, yeah. So she had to get up super early to start this whole ritual all over again. Did we have eating issues too? Okay, so what was that like?
He didn't eat. It was certain things, and then once he got burnt out on those, then we'd have to try something else. But he would eat off-the-wall things. taking him to the store, he'd grab a jalapeno out of, the produce, and before I knew it, chomp it on it, and it didn't bother him. But it was just certain things, the smells, the different textures. Cooking hamburger meat had to be boiled in a pan. Couldn't be dark. It just had to be, I just cooked it because he didn't want it dark. I don't know what it was. And
even just recently, he's still experimenting with new foods now.
Oh, you seen all those guys for first time?
Yeah.
As soon as he met his girlfriend, she's all like, Rob, where can you take me to eat that you'll actually eat other than McDonald's, because he loves chicken nuggets. And they went to, she goes, I want a Subway sandwich. And he's never had a sandwich other than peanut butter and jelly that had to be left open. So I had to devise a way to do that, to make him an open peanut butter jelly sandwich to take to school. But she got him to eat a meatball sub, plain, extra cheese. But it's, it's a sub.
Yeah. So it's,
And little by little, one day he ate an In-N-Out burger, which he had never done before, because at home I got him to eat burgers, but it was only plain meat. Then I introduced the bread, and this is when he was in high school. Introduced the bread, and then he finally would eat a hamburger plain with nothing on it. But then one day he was just chomping into a In-N-Out burger, and I was like, wow, double. Oh, vegetables.
no.
His girlfriend's into really healthy eating, living now, so he wants to do it. So he never had vegetables before, and I told him it's not that bad. I bought him a bag of frozen vegetables. I got to throw them in a blender. So he throws them in a blender, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots. He throws in celery. He does this all on his own. He puts in a little bit of juice. He'll get fresh cactus because I freeze it and cut it off the plant. He'll get it and throw it in there. What else do you mix in there?
Strawberries.
It's because he can't eat them by himself.
Yeah, he can't stand the texture by themselves or the taste or smell, but he mixes them all together and he drinks it. He drinks a couple of blenders a day of it. So
I spent 3 hours at the gym.
yeah, now he joined a gym, so now he walks to the gym too, from Cedar and Herndon to Cedar and Ashland.
Wow.
So yeah, only takes an hour, Mom. That's it.
Not
Okay.
even anymore.
So lots and lots of changes that have occurred. We went from he couldn't stand to have his fingernails and toenails cut.
Hair.
Going to get his hair cut.
It
He's
used-
gotten it cut recently. It used to be like down to here, which you'll see in the videos. But
We have pictures.
and pictures, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But one of the things was eye contact, not there, okay? I'm going to embarrass him right now, but I don't know if you guys remember the last year, he would speak looking
I remember.
off to the wall,
I do remember.
okay? Now, we're going to get back into all the rest of other people, but put him in the spotlight because he's used to it now. One of the things was he didn't like being bullied. Bullying's a big issue with lots of kids. And so he started writing about it. And why don't you tell about how the band started? We actually have that on video on the Cristobal thing. But
Oh, did you? Oh, it's got a lot of language.
it does.
Oh. That was one big, yeah, go ahead.
Well, one of the things, too, is kids on the spectrum, they are definite rule followers, okay? And I'll never forget, it was like not even a year ago when he leaned over to tell me something. He was in my car in the front seat, and to this day, the first time I went to go see him, he was texting me to not be upset because he was using curse words. And rules are you don't use curse words, right? But he was writing about how he felt about things, and that was his way of expressing himself. So, but he knows who he can cuss in front of and who he can't, which is a really nice quality. But even with me, unless he was on stage, he would not cuss in front of me unless he was on stage. Okay, so So yeah, they're rule followers. So it was kind of surprising. The other thing that kids on the spectrum do is they need, okay, remember we talked about the joint compression where we're slamming the joints into the nerves, and what it does is it says, hello, I'm here, because they really don't have a good sense of where their body is in space, proprioception, okay? So a lot of kids with autism, you'll see they're jumping or banging, right? Flapping. He never did flap.
He started to, and that's when we started the listening therapy.
Oh,
that's why
that's
him
right,
even
okay.
being on stage
Okay.
wouldn't be possible, because before he couldn't handle loud noises. Yeah. And the clock was loud to him. Yeah. You know, he would just start screaming. But we did the listening therapy, and everything's changed since then. The listening therapy is modulated music, and it's usually stuff like Bach, Beethoven, Mozart kinds of music. And so he would listen to that. If we are all regulated in this room and we listen to it, we would go nuts. It's like nails on a chalkboard. He didn't hear those things up until he was more regulated. But at first he didn't even like the headphones on his head. And then he started tolerating that. And then we moved him through this series that took a long time of all these different music therapy things. And so then I get this message from his mom that she wants me to come listen to him in a band. Take it away, Rob.
The first time you saw me, that was sad because of my throat. But anyways,
that's true.
I guess that was not a good day.
It didn't matter.
Well, he had a meltdown too, because you were coming. He was going to be cussing. He hadn't seen you in a while. He goes, Mom, I don't want her here.
I left your class back in like 6th grade, so it's been from like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to think in 5 years, but
Well, why did you decide to do the band? I mean, what made you want to do it? And tell them a little bit about your music. And
my friends wanted to start it, and I'm just like, you need a singer? I'm like, I thought it would be cool, so I'm like, okay, I'll join. First year, it was, I don't know, first year was fun. Second year was more fun. Now it's coming up to our third year, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of a little going down because we don't have no venues anymore to play in Fresno, because that's the thing in Fresno. There's not that many places to play shows anymore, which is not a good thing. But that's why out of town and road trips and band tours is what it's all about. And that's what we're going to start doing. In December, we're probably going to start recording another CD, because we recorded one 2 years ago, but that one's like old, so it's outdated.
But
Like how we
imagine
sound, like,
imagine a kid on the spectrum who can't give eye contact standing in front of an audience and singing.
I'm curious too, Rob, like, you guys all blend on the stage, right? So then when you come off the stage, how do you interact with your bandmates? Those same people that you're
we love each
one
other.
on the stage.
We love each other.
They're like brothers.
Yeah.
We're like brothers.
They
But
come
there
over.
were some issues.
There's some issues, like, but it's all fixed now. Like,
Yeah.
One of our songs is called Atomic Bastard.
It's the next song.
It was written for the bass player.
Is he still the bass player?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's still the same four guys.
Because he didn't understand Rob and autism, and he made
I made him understand it.
he
Now
called him a
understands.
retard one day,
I'm
and
like,
that
oh,
was it.
I'm the retard.
So yeah, we recorded the song, and after we were listening to the playback on it, he goes, Rob, he goes, I was joking. He goes, I heard the song was about me, and I go, I had already told him, I go, no, it's about his dad, because his dad wasn't in the picture. And he goes, oh, he goes,